We have to take you to Cape Town now, where the African National Congress has reacted to President Cyril Ramaphosa's State of the Nation address. The party's Secretary General, Aviwe Mtila, expanding on the various commitments made by the president and asking how will the ruling party ensure that government makes good on those promises. Our senior reporter, Aviwe Mtila, attended that briefing. He's standing by for us now. Aviwe, action, action, action is what we heard from the party's Secretary General. What more did he have to say?
Hello, Marcel. He says heads must roll if the president doesn't see through the promises that were made, of course, at the State of the Nation address. The key priorities outlined here by the SG of the ANC was creating jobs, dealing with the electricity crisis, the cost of living, as well as the impact of load shedding. Just some of those that were highlighted in this briefing. But of course, we know this is at the backdrop of the announcement by the president yesterday that deals with the national state of disaster. I am joined now by the Secretary General of the African National Congress, Aviwe Mtila. Thank you for joining us at eNCA. But maybe let's start with the elephant of the room. There was this announcement made yesterday, and of course, corruption and the ANC have somewhat become synonymous, looking at state capture where more than 200 members of the A party were implicated. You look at COVID-19, PPE corruption. How do you then assure South Africans that no corruption will happen with the state of disaster?
We have been able to show during the short spell of the reported corruption during COVID-19 to institute Fusion Center. We chased all the crooks and criminals. They are accounting as we speak. We implemented swiftly mechanisms that cushioned further corruption and depletion of state funds, public funds in relation to corruption during COVID-19. That was dealt with. It is documented. It is there. Even some of the senior government officials were held to account, and they are still accounting now. We are going to use that as we are using it during the floods, and we are going to use that, and government will use that in terms of going forward, in terms of disaster management, effectively to ensure that there is not even a cent of public purse that is lost to criminality and corruption. We need to deal with what is urgent, which is electricity crisis and reverse load shedding.
And then let's talk of some of what was said in the briefing. You said that energy will move to mineral resources. Someone offered deviation from what we heard from the president last night, saying that energy will remain at public enterprises.
The president yesterday said, we are talking about ESCOM. Energy is not at public enterprise at the present moment. Energy department and ministry is energy and mineral resources. So ESCOM, in terms of the ANC resolution, we have said in terms of alignment, it must move to where it belongs, which is energy. It will move to energy. In terms of intervention as a package, the president have announced Ministry of Electricity. Now, energy is broader than just ESCOM as a point of intervention. What the ANC conference resolution says, for alignment and configuration, ESCOM must move where it belongs. ESCOM will move to energy in terms of configuration. As a means of intervention now, we support electricity minister to deal with the package of crisis intervention. You may say we are wrong in relation to that and so on, but we think that it is most effective. Disaster management, minister on top, not deputy minister, and deal with the reversing load shedding, energy crisis, energy security. That's what is going to happen here. So by the time load shedding is dealt with and dealt a blow, we will be probably at the point where the entire ESCOM is reconfigured in a way that the conference have agreed. But we can't wait for that moment. It's going to take longer. At the present moment, we deal with a crisis and we need to move with speed. Intervention, it's an emergency. And that is what is important.
I'm talking about moving with speed and the intervention itself. How soon can then South Africans see the reduction of load shedding, given the announcement by the president yesterday?
We are very much optimistic that as we speak now, interventions have been made. With now the addition of all of these things, disaster management, minister, and also plans and measures of intervention and acquiring more megawatts and so on, we are going to go very far soonest. We might not do away with it altogether at the present moment, which we have given. Government have told us that it will be over a period of about towards the end of the year and beyond, but I think we will have made significant dent to load shedding. So it's an emergency, and it must be attended as such.
Thank you very much. The Secretary General of the African National Congress, Aviwe Mtila, saying that the party and state need to tackle the emergency that is load shedding.
Okay, our senior reporter Aviwe Mtila with ANC Secretary General there, Aviwe Mtila.